In a world that constantly tells you to chase happiness, what if I told you the path to a resilient mind lies not in comfort, but in embracing life's harsh realities? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy forged in the fires of Roman and Greek life. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about transforming it. We're going to explore 7 brutal but liberating lessons from the great Stoic masters that can help you build an unshakable inner fortress. This isn't just theory, it's a practical guide to mastering your mind. Let's begin with the first, and perhaps most difficult, lesson. You are going to die. The Stoics didn't see this as a morbid thought, but as a powerful motivator. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This concept, Memento Mori, or remember you will die, isn't meant to cause fear. It's meant to create urgency and clarity. When you truly grasp the finite nature of your time, trivial worries and pointless conflicts lose their power. Why waste a precious minute on anger, envy, or procrastination? This realization forces you to ask the most important question: am I living a life of purpose? It's a brutal wake-up call to stop sleepwalking through your days and start living with intention. The second brutal lesson is that your emotions are a choice. It doesn't feel like it, does it? When you feel anger, sadness, or anxiety, it feels like an external event is causing it. But the Stoics argued that it's not the event itself, but our judgment about the event that creates our emotional response. Epictetus put it bluntly: men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Someone cutting you off in traffic isn't inherently infuriating. It's your judgment that was disrespectful. They put me in danger that sparks the anger. This is incredibly empowering. It means you are not a puppet to your feelings. By pausing and examining your initial judgments, you can choose a more rational, tranquil response. It's a skill, and like any skill, it requires constant practice. This leads us to our third lesson. Control is an illusion. Mostly, the Stoics were obsessed with a concept called the Dichotomy of Control. It's simple. Some things are within our control, and some are not. What's in your control? Your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, your will. What's not in your control? Almost everything else. The weather, the economy, what other people think of you, and even your own health to a large extent. The brutal truth is that we spend most of our energy worrying about things we cannot change. The Stoic path is to relentlessly focus your attention and effort only on what you can control. Let go of the rest. This isn't passive resignation. It's a strategic reallocation of your most valuable resource, your energy. Accept what you cannot change and have the courage to change what you can. Lesson number 4 is a hard pill to swallow. The obstacle is the way. Modern culture teaches us to seek comfort and avoid difficulty. The Stoics taught the opposite. They believed that challenges were not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When you face a problem, a difficult project, a personal conflict, a physical challenge, don't see it as a misfortune. See it as your training ground. It's an opportunity to practice courage, patience, creativity, and resilience. Every obstacle you overcome builds your character and strengthens your resolve. So, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I use this to become better?" This reframe turns every setback into a stepping stone. Fifth, your ego is your enemy. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness, and they recognized that an inflated ego is one of the biggest barriers to wisdom and tranquility. The ego craves external validation, praise, status, and recognition. It's fragile and easily wounded by criticism or perceived slights. A Stoic, however, strives for an inner scorecard. They focus on living virtuously according to their own principles, regardless of what others think. They practice humility, recognizing how much they still have to learn. Seneca advised that we should be willing to be thought foolish and stupid. This isn't about self-deprecation. It's about freeing yourself from the desperate need for approval. When you stop trying to impress others, you can start focusing on what truly matters, your own character. The sixth brutal lesson is that comfort can be a cage. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would periodically live as if he were poor-eating simple food, wearing old clothes and sleeping on the floor. Why? To inoculate himself against the fear of loss. He was training himself to realize that he could not only survive but thrive with less. In our world of instant gratification and endless comforts, we become soft. We fear hardship because we've never experienced it. By intentionally stepping out of your comfort zone, taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, you build mental toughness. You prove to yourself that your well-being isn't dependent on external conditions. You are stronger than you think, but you'll only know it by testing your limits. Finally, the seventh and most encompassing lesson: virtue is the only good. In a world chasing money, fame, and pleasure, the Stoics made a radical claim. They argued that the only thing that is truly good, the only thing that can lead to a fulfilling life, or eudaimonia, is virtue. Virtue, for them, meant living with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Everything else, health, wealth, reputation, they called indifference. They are not bad, but they are not inherently good either. They are simply raw material to be used virtuously. You can be wealthy and miserable, or poor and content. What matters is not what you have, but who you are. This is the ultimate goal of Stoicism: to build a character so strong and a will so aligned with nature that you can face any fortune or misfortune with grace and tranquility. It is a lifelong pursuit, the ultimate art of living. These 7 lessons are not easy. They challenge our most basic assumptions about life, happiness, and success. They demand self-reflection, discipline, and courage. But they offer something priceless in return: an inner peace that no external event can shatter, a resilience that turns obstacles into opportunities, a freedom from the tyranny of opinion and the anxiety of the unknown. This is the promise of Stoicism: not a life free from pain, but a life where you have the strength to bear it. Not a life of constant pleasure, but one of deep and abiding purpose. Thank you for watching. If these ideas resonated with you, consider subscribing for more journeys into timeless wisdom.